thanks for joining me. Tonight I'll be doing a quick catch-up video on what I thought about my time in Japan. I was living there for 5 months. I also have some questions from you guys which I will answer, and I will wrap the video up just by letting you know when I'm going back, how long for, and what I intend to do when I'm out there. So we'll start off with the questions, and I had to write things down. I am unbelievably tired and I didn't want to forget anything. So the first question came from Cassie, and she just asked if I would consider being a personal shopper when I go back to Japan. Short answer, yes. I would say for a handful of people. The only reason I wouldn't want to do it for a lot of people is because I think it would just become too time consuming, and there's so much that I want to get done in Japan myself that I don't want to make promises to anyone that I can't keep, essentially. So more than happy to have a select, like I said, handful of people that I can sort of keep in contact with, and if there's anything you want, let me know and I will do my best to get it for you. Cassie, obviously in particular, if there's anything that you know you're looking for, just let me know. What I'll do, I will give you my email address and we can keep in touch through that, and if there's anything you're looking for throughout the year, just let me know, and yeah, I'll do my best to accommodate that for you. If there's any of my other subscribers, or if you're new here and just watching the video, hello, and if you're interested in using me as a personal shopper while I'm in Japan, let me know in the comments, and again I'll do the same. I'll give you my email address and we can sort of take it from there. And that was a good question, actually. I remember maybe about 6 years ago, there was something in particular that I really wanted from the Disney store in Japan. So I was searching on the internet for a personal shopper and I just couldn't find one. I was having no luck at all. So that was, yeah, good question, Cassie, and absolutely I will help you if I can. So fingers crossed I can get you what you're after. And yeah, like I said, if anyone else is interested, pop a comment below and we can work something out. So moving on, I think the only other questions came in from Melissa, and she had asked, what did I enjoy, what was cool, and was there anything difficult to adjust to? Start off with the bad things, which was things that are difficult to adjust to. Now, to be fair, there actually wasn't a lot, which is a good thing, but there was a few. I'm just reading over this, sorry. Okay, so actually this was quite a big thing for me at first, and I have to give you a little bit of context before I speak about it. So in Scotland there is a very nice Japanese restaurant called Ichiban. The food is outstanding. It's quite a cheap and cheerful place, but the quality of the food is just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I go there quite often, and because of the food that I was served in this restaurant, I was unbelievably excited to try the same food in Japan. Excuse me, I need a drink. So when I got to Japan, I ordered one of my favourite meals based on the restaurant in Glasgow, and it was just so unbelievably bland. It just did not taste anywhere near the same as what I was used to back home. So that was like a big system shock for me. You know, if you're eating Japanese food, you know, once a month from somewhere that you really, really love, and then you actually go to said country and the food is just nothing like what you've experienced, it sort of bursts your bubble a little bit. So that was quite hard for me, was the food side of things. That being said, in particular, it was the food in their supermarkets. So silly things like I bought all the ingredients for making just tuna pasta, something very, very simple, and something that I really enjoy and I have quite often in Scotland. Got all the ingredients and it was just, again, it was just so bland. There's nothing, I can't really pinpoint any flavours because there was just a complete lack of flavours. And it did start frustrating me, I have to say. But my way around this was, it's pretty much just as cheap to eat out as it is to do your supermarket shop and cook things for yourself. So I did start eating out quite a bit. I would go to sushi restaurants. There was a curry house, which was just delicious. There was an Italian restaurant, and I use the term Italian very loosely, but it was good. It was good. So after figuring out where I liked to eat, that sort of nullified my food problem. So at least when I go back, I'll know where everything is. I know the types of foods that I like over there. But yeah, that was quite hard initially. I was stressing out, thinking, you know, how can I live over here? I can't eat anything because it's just so bloody bland. But yeah, we got over that, thankfully. Another bad thing. Oh, so again, I have to compare this to what I'm used to in Scotland. Generally speaking, after a hard day's work, I like nothing more than to go into a very deep bath filled with bubbles and just relax. So I got to my accommodation in Japan and the bath was around half the size of the baths that we have in the UK. It was just tiny. You can't lie down in their baths. And I'm not a big person. I'm 5'2". I'm tiny. So that was I wouldn't really say, okay, it wasn't difficult to adjust to. It was more just annoying, I guess. You know, when you're used to, that was my method of relaxation, and essentially it was just taken away from me completely, and I just didn't like it. So it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was difficult to adjust to, it just wasn't something that I enjoyed about being there. Given the opportunity, I would have gladly taken somewhere with a massive bath, but that wasn't an option. I don't know if it's sort of like that everywhere, if that's just standard bath sizes. I have no idea, but yeah, not a fan. But I did notice when you go shopping there's lots of bath products, you know, like your bubble baths or bath salts, things like that. They have loads of them in places, which was kind of confusing to me because I thought you can't use something like that in a bath that you're not going to fully appreciate at the end of the day. But anyway, that's just a little complaint from me, I suppose. Another thing I put here is something that I think they're currently changing their perspective on, and it's tattoo discrimination. So I didn't really think about this before going there. I did actually know that this was a thing, but I just didn't really consider it. If you have tattoos, you are not allowed in, I can't remember what the term for them is, but like the hot springs that you'll get, sort of, you get indoors and outdoor ones, they tend to have signs saying no tattoos. Places like, I suppose, any places where your skin is going to be visible, like in gyms, a lot of gyms will not entertain anyone who has tattoos. I think even some restaurants and some shops have signs outside saying no tattoos. And I remember I didn't really have an issue with that because I didn't go to any bathhouses. I didn't get a gym membership or anything like that. But there was one day in particular, it was so warm and I was wearing just a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and I had a 15-minute walk from my apartment to a nail salon that I was going to. And because I had a t-shirt on, so I've got my floral cuff, and I'll show you guys my floral cuff and my shoulder, obviously tattooed. So that was visible, and during my 15-minute walk from my apartment to the nail salon, I could just feel everyone staring, and I don't suppose it was necessarily a very bad feeling, but it was making me uncomfortable. I don't think people were looking because they were disgusted. I get the strong impression they were looking because tattoos is just something they don't really see, especially in the area I was living. I think if you were in Tokyo, for instance, I don't think people would bat an eye, but I was on the outskirts of Tokyo, and yeah, I think it was probably more they were staring out of fascination rather than anything negative. But yeah, I don't sort of like that feeling of attention being on you. It does just make me feel uncomfortable. But I do think that they are sort of changing their perspective on tattoos, which is a good thing. I mean, I'm from obviously the UK, and it's probably more common here to see people with tattoos than without them in this day and age, if I'm being honest. So, you know, this is just normal to us at the end of the day. Excuse me again. I think I only had one more thing on my bad points, and this wasn't anything to do with Japan. This would be a factor of going away anywhere for an extended period of time, and that's just missing people. So it was very hard for me to leave my family and friends. The only sort of saving grace I had was video calls, which, don't get me wrong, video calls are fantastic, but nothing beats obviously seeing people in person at the end of the day. So that's, over and above everything else, that was the hardest thing for me, was just the fact that I had to leave people behind. And you know, things out with your control happen when you're elsewhere, obviously. So when I was away for 5 months, 2 of my friends got engaged, which was just fantastic news, really fantastic news, but something that I think you would feel more involved in if you were there in person. And there was also a death in the family, which was extremely difficult because you're stuck a million miles away, and it just sort of makes you feel quite useless, I suppose. You know, there's nothing you can do, and with everything going on, you know, COVID, and just, it was all just terrible to deal with, really bad to deal with. But that being said, that's nothing to do with being in Japan at the end of the day. That is just, shit happens, you know, and it's going to happen if you're in your home country or not. Unfortunately, there's just things that you have to be able to deal with. But yeah, that was a big thing for me. Like I said, video calls were my saving grace. Every single day I would be in touch with family and friends to sort of keep me sane, I suppose. So that was all the bad things. There wasn't too many. I feel like I've been talking forever, but there actually wasn't too many. So, what did I think was cool or enjoyed over there? So the first major thing for me is, from the age of probably about 15, I've been very much interested in the kawaii culture. We don't really see any of that here in Scotland. So going to somewhere like Japan, you go to your little local shops and you're faced with kawaii stuff, whether it be just silly little things like stationery, bags, things like that. You just wouldn't see that over here. So I really, really loved that. And in their shopping malls, they have, oh god, there's just so many shops that I absolutely adore. I just feel like if I go shopping here in the UK, I can often go out and come home with absolutely nothing. You know, I'll go for a browse, I'll have a wee look in places, and I come back empty-handed. That does not happen in Japan. It just does not happen. There's literally something for everyone. There really is. Another of their shops that I found really interesting was a second-hand shop called Wonderex, and that shop was basically located halfway between my apartment and my place of work. so I had to pass it every day, and I did go in every day. I found some amazing things in there. There was one thing in particular that I bought as a gift for someone back home, and it was a massive, I don't know if any of you guys know the Final Fantasy series. I don't know what console it started on, one of the Nintendo consoles. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII was the first one I played on PlayStation 1. So when I was in this second-hand shop, there was a massive Christmas Moogle, and I had actually priced that toy in the UK, and to order it in the UK it would have been, I think at the time, £65, and I found it for just less than £3 in Wonderex. And they had so many things. They had a lot of Disney, they had a lot of kawaii, and second-hand clothes. I got so many clothes, and they were all less than £3 from memory. And just things that you wouldn't get in the UK. You know, the fashion over there is quite unique. Don't get me wrong, where I was living, you didn't see sort of your Tokyo styles. Where I was living, in fact, they pretty much dressed how we do in the UK. But in the charity shops, you could absolutely find some unique things that you just wouldn't get anywhere else. And that became my go-to place for clothes, accessories, and pretty much anything kawaii that I was getting as well. I would just, because I was in there every day, I got to see their new stock, and yeah, I probably spent a bit too much money in that place, and I will do the same when I go back again. So that was really cool. I'm going to have to take another drink before I continue. And I'm sorry, this video was supposed to be quite quick, and I realise it's went on for an extended amount of time already. So, another cool thing for me was the Pokemon Centre. So I think there's one in the UK, but it's in London, which is a million miles away from me. So I've never been to that one. I don't know how big it is, but there are, can't remember if it was 2 or 3 in Japan. I went to one of them, and I was just in awe when I went inside the variety that they had of, they had plushies, they had figures, they had clothing, bags, kitchenware, food, stationery, jewellery. I got some really, really nice jewellery from the Pokemon Centre, and it was quite surprising. I assumed things were going to be very expensive in a place like that, and considering it was in Tokyo as well, but they were actually quite reasonable. I mean, probably a bit more than I would like to have paid, but for what it was and for where in the world it's situated, I think it was very, very reasonable. And I can say the same for their Disney store over there. Again, the variety of things that they have is just so different to anything we see here. You know, their designs are so different, and it's a breath of fresh air. You know, if we had the likes of that over here, I would be in my element. but we just do not have that culture at all. We really don't. We're very limited in the UK, I would say. So just in general, talking about things like the Pokemon Centre, the Disney Store, their supermarkets, everything had so much more choice than what I'm used to. And it's quite overwhelming, actually. And it's kind of annoying as well to a point, because I remember coming back to the UK and I'm just thinking, I won't, I won't be spending as much money here, which is a good thing, but there's still so many things I want that you're never going to be able to get here. So that's a major reason that I am dying to get back to Japan, because there's so much stuff that I just want to bring back with me. I mean, even things like, I had got a really nice Alice in Wonderland picture. It's like a little tiny canvas, and I bought that. I can't remember the shop, but I think it was maybe the equivalent of £2. It really wasn't dear, but it's just beautiful. The colours that they've used and the picture itself, the design, is just so pretty. So yeah, I'm dying to go back and just pick up things to essentially make my house feel like a home when I come back for good, because stuff in the UK doesn't really show my personality, I don't think. Stuff in Japan does show my personality. Sorry, I'm gonna read off here and hopefully wrap this up. I can't believe how long this has been. There's too many good things about Japan, that's the problem. So other things that I've noted for stuff that I thought was cool and enjoyed. So they have a lot of festivals. It seems they really like to make a celebration out of anything in Japan. Now, unfortunately, during the time I was there, I didn't get to attend any festivals, but there's some that I know I want to attend next year, and there is one in particular, the Penis Festival. I don't even know what to expect, if I'm perfectly honest. I'm sure, from memory, I think it's around about April sometime. I absolutely want to go there. They also have their Sapporo Snow Festival, which I would love to see. They celebrate their cherry blossoms, another thing they're so stunning, and I was really lucky where my apartments were. It was right next to a beautiful, beautiful park, which was just filled with cherry blossom trees, and I did take photographs when I was there, but the pictures just don't do it any justice at all. It really doesn't do it any justice. You really have to be there at the end of the day. So yeah, that's more things I'm looking forward to when I go back. I really didn't get a chance to experience even half of what I wanted to when I was out there. I can't remember if I've said this or not, because I've been talking for so bloody long. But their public transport puts ours to shame. So over here, if a snowflake falls, public transport will be cancelled or delayed. If there's a spot of rain, will be cancelled or delayed. If the sun is shining, expect cancellations or delays. In Japan, everything is on time, to the second, and that's no word of a lie, to the second. So you can plan your days accordingly. You know, you're not going to be let down by their public transport, and that was a massive thing for me, something that I'm just not used to, and something that when you see it working so well, you have so much confidence in being able to get places, especially with being in a foreign country. You just gain so much confidence and trust that you will be able to make certain places at certain times. You know, it's just, I think for a foreigner in particular, it's just, it takes away so much stress knowing that you can rely on things like that. That was a big deal for me, and I wish the UK could even be half as good, if I'm honest. Our services are terrible, and that's putting it lightly. They are very, very terrible. So yeah, public transport, hats off to whoever's done the work behind that. They have done a fantastic job and continue to do a fantastic job. Now, I think I have rambled on enough. So, to end this, I'll just let you guys know when I'm due back out. So far, I will be leaving the UK on the 27th of January, and my contract expires on the 31st of December. So from the 27th of January to 31st of December, I should be in Japan. My plans, for a start, to do a lot more vlogs when I'm out there. I didn't vlog as much as I would have liked to when I went out. Now, it was only for 5 months, to be fair, and because COVID kicked off, there were, although we didn't go into a full lockdown in Japan, you were sort of advised to not travel, and at the end of the day I was over there for work, so you stick to the advisories that were set in place, which was don't be travelling, essentially. So that did kind of ruin some of my plans. Hopefully next year, when things get a bit better, I'll be able to visit more places. And even, worst case scenario, if things don't get much better, I think I can still produce enough content in, the sort of surrounding area that I live. I think there will still be enough things to do, enough things for you guys to see. But if there's anything you would like me to touch on, anywhere you would like me to go, pop that in the comments. I know I did ask that last time, and there were a few suggestions which I fully intended on doing. But yeah, COVID had other plans. But certainly, if there is anything at all that you would like to see, and if you've got any other questions, leave them down below as well. I will try my best to answer. I may squeeze in one more video just before I'm due to depart. So again, if you think of anything you want to ask, if there's anything I've not touched on in this video that you want to know, let me know. And yeah, if there's any content in particular that you would like to see when I go back to Japan, drop me a comment and I will see what I can do. Since this has gone on for way too long, I will love you guys and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking with you again. not speaking with you, I look forward to speaking to you again. Take care, everybody. I hope you're all safe and well. Bye.